acceleration. Sounds so good. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be going over a Ram 1500 Rocky Ridge K2. First and foremost though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Schmiller Dodge Ram here in Provo, Utah for giving me some time with this Rocky Ridge truck. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below where you can check out this truck. It is available for the time being. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below as well. Let's get into it. So under the hood we have a naturally aspirated 5.7 liter Hemi V8 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs are 395 horsepower and then 410 pound-feet of torque. Original fuel economy would have been 15 around town and then 21 on the highway, but I doubt it's that anymore with the lift and the tires. Now let's go to the front end of the Rocky Ridge Ram 1500. So first off, you guys can see we've got the Rocky Ridge logo there at the top. And then this is built off of a Bighorn Sport. So we've got the regular halogen lights there, and then you guys can see the fog lights down below. Notice we have the marker lights here in the center portion. And then we have the Rocky Ridge logo instead of the Ram logo. And then we do have a light bar also integrated into the front of the grille. We've got parking sensors as well, and altogether it actually looks pretty dang cool. Now coming around the side here, we've got 20-inch wheels, and wrapped around that we have 35s in the front and in the rear. And you guys can see from a design perspective, the wheels look really cool. You got the Rocky Ridge logo and emblem there, right, on the wheel. And yeah, just the contrast, the silver and the black, I think looks fantastic. And got a little moth there in the tread pattern, free of charge. 6-inch lift also comes with this, and they've calibrated everything from the speedometer to the whole setup, right, with the steering and everything, so it's all taken care of. And you guys can see, pretty cool looking setup. Now we have these massive body painted fender flares that have also been added as part of this K2 package. You have another Rocky Ridge logo, and if we take a few steps back, you can see the full side profile on this truck. If you guys are wondering in terms of like the size of this truck, it's pretty close in size to a Ram TRX. It actually sits higher than a Ram TRX, but if you guys are wondering in terms of like the overall kind of like size and height, just sits a bit higher than a Ram TRX. And then popping into the rear, something that I love about lifted Ram 1500s is they still utilize Ram's multi-link setup in the back, as you can see. So ride quality and everything is really solid. And then you got your sport badge, because again, it's built off of a Bighorn Sport. And then notice here, we've got our Rocky Ridge logo on the back. And then we have our upgraded exhaust tips. You can see how beefy those are. Those are like the size of Ram TRX exhaust tips. Get you guys a clip in a little bit. And there's kind of the rest of the rear with the truck. Really good looking. And I'm just kind of focusing on the Rocky Ridge stuff, if you guys are wondering. Now, popping inside, you guys notice we got power steps first off. And then this just has the regular Bighorn interior, as you guys can see. But, well, with the door panel at least. But the seats have been upgraded. So we've got this cool quilted design all down the center portion of the seats. And then notice, since it's built off a Sport, you got like the darker trim there. Still have USB's power outlet. But yeah, definitely cool looking with the seats. And then, again, you got the Bighorn door panel, and these definitely help out quite a bit when this truck is massive and lifted. Notice there with the Rocky Ridge logo. And then you guys can see again with the leather swap on the seats. And then notice the power adjustments right there. And getting in is pretty easy again with those steps. And then you got the grab handle, and of course you got the Fox tag there on the grab handle. But starting it up, ooh, has a nice beefy sound. Notice we've got the Rocky Ridge logos here integrated into the gauge cluster. And other than that though, the rest of the interior has pretty much been left to be stock, but it does have some cool upgrades since this is a loaded up Bighorn, like the 12-inch display, as you guys can see. And then notice we got trailer brake controls, and then notice from a driveline select perspective, we have 4-wheel auto as well as 4-wheel high, 4-wheel low, and then 2-wheel drive. And then this has the center console setup, which slides backwards and forwards normally, but this also has the lockbox, so it kind of gets in the way just a little bit because you got the key in it. Other than that though, panoramic sunroof. I don't know if I already mentioned that. We're just gonna pretend like I didn't if I didn't. Power setting window, and well, let's go over the price before we drive it. So you guys can see here for the original window sticker. Actually, it'll be easier if I open up the door. So $64,365 was the original MSRP on this Bighorn. It does have the Alpine sound system, so 9 speakers and a subwoofer as well. So pretty loaded up from the factory. And then total MSRP after the Rocky Ridge package is $88,105. So the Rocky Ridge package adds another $23,740. It does come with its own 3-year, 36,000 mile warranty. It's compliant with everything. And, well, such a big truck. Let's take it out and drive it. Let's talk about visibility before you set off. Here's your visibility over the hood, both of the mirrors, and then throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. Okay, so we are setting off here in this Ram 1500 with the Rocky Ridge K2 package. And since this truck is stopping, we're just gonna go through. So first off, seat cover is actually really good. So just having these little leather skins thrown on actually does help out a little bit with just making the seat feel a little bit more cushiony compared to the cloth seats that you get in a Bighorn. And so yeah, I think it's actually a job well done from a seat perspective. And then in terms of you know, visibility with this truck, it's really good because you're super high off the ground and you got a lot of large windows, so it definitely helps out quite a bit. Now the one downside about this being built off a Bighorn and not a Laramie is the fact that it only has heated seats. It doesn't have cooled seats. It does have a heated steering wheel. So I mean, I guess if you're in Canada, then you probably don't care because you probably it never gets warm enough for you to need heated or cooled seats. But for the rest of us that live in warmer climates, like you guys can see, it's not 112 degrees outside. It's just because this has been sitting in the lot. It would have been nice to have cooled seats in the truck, but obviously that would make it even more expensive than it already is. So, getting up and moving. Love the sound of the Hemi. I'm gonna be so sad when this engine is gone. But yeah, here at elevation, just like kind of getting up a little bit. Torque's really good. Feels great. And this will be our full-blown acceleration in a moment. Other stuff here, this definitely, you know, from I guess the driver cockpit area, feels kind of interesting in terms of like the specialness. But first off, acceleration sounds so good. Because like I've got the custom gauge cluster, but like the rest of it, it looks like I'm just looking at a regular Bighorn interior pretty much. So definitely take that into account. And the seats obviously are a big upgrade, but you don't really see them, you just sit in them. So it's, I don't know, it's one of those things. But yeah, really smooth, actually. Really smooth in terms of the driving. That's one thing I do like about Rams, is it's a really good platform to lift. I've noticed, I've commented in other videos that the new Ford F-150 and the new Ram 1500 are the best trucks to lift right now for a half-ton, just because of how solid it's built from the factory, like as stock. And so yeah, just when you lift it, it still has a really good ride quality. So some things up here with this Rocky Ridge package. Looks really cool. Definitely has quite a bit of road presence. And I guess that, you know, a lot of people are going to be comparing this to the Ram TRX. Let's see what the fuel economy is, speaking of Ram TRX. So, it doesn't exactly get better fuel economy than the Ram TRX. It's about the same. Yeah, I think it's a really cool package. I think that frankly is the biggest thing going against this package. I think it's a really it looks great. Everything, like the manufacturing on this truck is amazing, but it does kind of, in people's minds, even though two completely different uses for the trucks, like this is more of like a really cool looking show truck, whereas the Ram TRX, right, is built for off-roading. But at the same time, people see this as like, they see the TRX as in a similar category where they're like, oh, it's just a cool show truck. And so it's like, it definitely is a tough sell. But that being said, with current Ram TRX prices, this is less expensive than a Ram TRX in its configuration. Like the TRX starts at $77,000, but as soon as you add like any equipment group on the TRX, it's more expensive than this. So yeah, I mean, let me know which one you guys would pick overall, but it's kind of like an interesting kerfuffle, I guess, that Rocky Ridge has, or any manufacturer frankly that has to contend with when they modify Rams, is they're always competing with the TRX, because when you lift a Ram, it gets the same fuel economy as a TRX. That's gonna sum things up for our video on this Rocky Ridge package with the Ram 1500. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larch Miller Dodge Ram here in Provo for giving me some time with this truck. Check out the info in the description down below. I'll see you.